Well, more news about the Muppets. It looks like we finally have a closing date for Muppets Courtyard. We're going to whine about that tonight. Also, some more updates on the Festival of the Arts, Flower and Garden, and so much more. All that tonight on ParksCenter. Welcome to ParksCenter for tonight, January 26, 2025. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. As always, we thank you for being with us and appreciate you. If you have not already, please subscribe to WDWNT TV for more great content. And, of course, give us a thumbs up as it helps people to find us. Tonight, we have with us Mr. Patrick Hackett.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Wow, keep that energy. I like that. And, of course, Desi, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping for another, but if he shows, that'll be great. And if not, then we will. Well, you know what? Speak of the devil, and the devil himself appears. Here he is, Mr. Rob Bazemore. What's going on, fella?
How's it going, everyone? Sorry about that.
He's live from an undisclosed location, as they say during the football games when they show the troops. He's coming live from an undisclosed location for his own safety. Thanks, Rob, for being with us tonight. We appreciate you. It's Muppet time here. We talked about the Muppets a little while ago when we got the news that the Muppet Vision, which we thought was untouchable, Muppet Vision was going to be closing for Monsters, Inc., and now it's going to be closing in June. They're actually going to be closing Pizza Rizzo in May, Patrick, so I'm so sorry about that. I hope you get a chance to go back and get some of that pizza that you love so much, real Italian food. Mama Melrose Mama Melrose is also closing around that time, as Tom always says about Tony's, what the guide map is calling Italian food. You know what? I don't hate Mama Melrose. As a matter of fact, the next trip I go down, I'm going to say goodbye to Mama Melrose in person.
Herself?
But, yeah, she's there. She's there. She's gonna be there for the final days. It's gonna be great. You know what? I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about the fact that we're actually saying goodbye to the entire courtyard. You know, one of the things that we've looked at before is the concept art for Monsters, Inc., the Monstropolis that's coming. We thought it was going to be coming to the dead zone that is the animation courtyard, but they were like, nah, we like to crap all over Muppet Courtyard, please. And Patrick, I was thinking back to the days when we didn't actually have to make an entire theme land. We could just make attractions within a land, like Tomorrowland and
That didn't work out so great, dude.
I'm just so you disagree. Like, I guess what I'm thinking is, couldn't they have just built the Monsters, Inc. roller coaster at the end of this row and saved us all this heartache?
I mean, they could have done a lot of things, Rob. Let's be serious here. There's many things they could have done for a lot of things. We've talked about it ad nauseum. They are just replacing things. They are not adding capacity. They are not building new things. They're really great at building hotels that are incredibly poorly themed, but for attractions, it takes forever, and they just put them on top of other attractions. They're not doing anything in space where there's no attractions. This is not what Walt Disney World was supposed to be about. It was supposed to have the benefit of space. Yes, it's not a museum, but there are some museum-worthy pieces. Carousel of Progress and Muppet Vision being the two that I feel have more cultural significance than most other attractions. They could have put this anywhere, really, and it's a poor decision.
Well, so here's a look at what Monstropolis will look like. So they're going to take over the Muppet Vision Theater for something monster-related, I guess. We'll have different restaurants themed after, like there's a Harryhausen's, which will replace Mama Melrose, and then, of course, have the big the big door roller coaster that we've all heard about and been excited about since way back in the day when it could have gone in Pixar Place. That was one of the rumors back in the day, is they were going to take that empty theater that became the second Toy Story track or third Toy Story track and make it the Monsters, Inc. indoor roller coaster. So I was really excited about the fact that we will get this when they announced it at D23. But again, ever since then, Rob B., I'm going to throw this to you. Ever since then, Josh has been just tearing our hearts out with things like, Rivers of America is going away, and Muppet Vision, well, you guys didn't really need that anyway. But to be honest, the lines today are only 10 minutes long. Are we just too nostalgic here?
You know what? I'm a big advocate of change, and most of the changes I've had, like the Great Movie Ride, for instance, transitioning over to Minnie Mickey's Running Railroad, I've seen as very positive. This is the first time, and that was a dig at you. I'm sorry, but this is the first time I'm actually sad to see Muppets go. It's something that I go to every single time I'm in Hollywood Studios. And not just because it's a cool theater, but it's because it's something that I grew up on the Muppets. It's very entertaining. The humor hits every age group differently, and it's genuinely an enjoyable show. I'm sad. I'm actually going to be there in a few weeks. I'm definitely gonna watch it again. One last time, maybe even more than one time. I'm actually sad to see this one go. The other thing I would say is that the theater isn't that complex of an attraction, right? It's a pretty standard, pre-show area. It's a pretty standard show. Yes, there's some, the canon and the but it's a pretty simple process. I'm really surprised that they couldn't just literally uplift it and move it somewhere else. Because it's not a complicated show, and I don't think that it can be that expensive. Like the auditorium itself can't be that expensive. Hopefully, they'll archive everything, and then as they open up more land, they will shift it somewhere else.
Yeah, all the stories say things like they're looking into ways to preserve Muppet Vision, the movie, and some of the effects. Well, I feel like you should have looked into that before you. It's like fire, ready, aim over here. It's a little bit like I feel like it's an afterthought, but it's nice to think that they may preserve this somewhere. I hope that their answer isn't we're going to just put it on Disney Plus and send everybody a pair of 3D glasses, because I'm not really sure I'm down for that. But there is a theater, to your point, that at the end of Sunset Boulevard that they could take and make it a Muppet Vision experience right next to the roller coaster they're claiming they're going to be retheming, which we'll talk about in a second. But at the same time, they're not doing that. They're full-fledged into the villain show that we'll talk about in a second. But let me pause before I go to Desi on this and say we do have a super chat real quick. There be the music. And of course, it's from the Super Chat Queen, Rosita. Just want to give love to ParksCenter. Thank you so much, Rosita. We appreciate you. And thanks for the Super Chat. You are the best. Desi, I don't know, as a mother of two young boys, do your boys care about the Muppets in general? Have you been bringing 100%. Them up right?
Of course.
So they're invested here.
They love the Muppets. I don't know if they love the Muppets as much as they loved Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not bringing them up 100% right. But yes, they love the Muppets. They're so sad to see them go. Also, I think we've already said everything that we need to say about how sad this is. But May or June, when are they're closing it this summer. We get a whole year to say goodbye to Dinosaur. And I love Dinosaur. But could they not give this the same treatment where they basically close off all of the other areas except for the theater while they work on that? Can't give us a little bit more time to grieve and say goodbye before taking it away?
You say that, but I don't know if you remember with the Great Movie Ride and the Universe of Energy, that was like a month, maybe less, when they were like, both of these things are going down immediately.
Yeah, I didn't care about Universe of Energy, but I did go for the last day of Great Movie Ride.
Okay, all right. Well, you get points for you. We'll start awarding points.
I give the points. That was my show.
Well, we're gonna blend them. You give the points. That's fine. Patrick will be in charge of points.
Blend of 3 different shows at this point.
It's fine.
Really is.
We're all fine. So the other thing they talked about was that the Rock and Roller Coaster doesn't have a downtime yet, Patrick, for becoming the Muppet Mayhem. And I'm actually okay with that because, yes, they're promising us they're going to put Muppets in some other place, but I don't need them to have 19 attractions down at the same time. So I'm kind of glad
they're going to anyway. they literally just took a sticker and put it over Dino Land USA. They do not care how many things are down at the same time. All these lines are great for people buying Premier Pass Plus, whatever it is called at this point in time. Yeah, it's just, God.
What
There's
I
so
what
many moves they could make that would make this so much better. And I'm hoping like after the villains area opens up, we get that. Like the villain show goes to behind Big Thunder. MILF comes over to the Monster Courtyard. Something else goes in those two buildings there, and we get like a Muppets Pavilion.
Nah, never gonna happen. But
Josh
I
does
think
these things to hurt me.
apparently so. I know he's out to get you. The thing about the Muppets is they kind of have a love-hate relationship with the Muppets, and I feel like that's weird because they had that great moments in history that happened at at Liberty Square, which was awesome, and then it went away. They had the Muppet Mobile Labs. They have the Regal Eagle is so little of Muppets. I don't even know if you can even count that as Muppets. And then you have Pizza Rizzo, which was a watered down version of what that was supposed to originally have been, and so on and so forth. So I'm a little bit bummed out that in general that they keep kind of kicking kicking the Muppets in the face, and then they'll do something like this where they make a recap of the Disney Treasure Maiden Voyage with the Muppets. So it's like we'll use them when we want to, but then the rest of the time we're just gonna sweep them under the rug. I don't know. I'm like you. It feels personal. but at the same time, like that show is my favorite. And Desi, you talked about this when we were talking about all the things they're getting rid of. Is how quotable the things are that they're getting rid of. Dinosaur, and to me, Dinosaur and the Muppets are the two most quotable things.
Yeah. We should all come up with what is our favorite Muppets quote, Muppet Vision 3D quote, like we did for Dinosaur when that was announced that it was going away. Because it was funny that all of us came up with different ones at that point. So think about it. Post show,
Yeah.
we're going to talk
Well,
about what our favorite quotes are.
Okay, so let me get this straight. I can't give out points, and I can't decide what we talk about on the post show. Got it.
That's right.
This is great.
Yep.
Rob, decide what you
It
want to
made
take away too.
You don't even get your own name in this show.
That's fine. I know, right? I have to share with. There you go. That's what he did. He took away my name. Let's move on to the next thing. It's the Festival of Art. Now, we've talked about Festival of Art a lot because there's a lot of neat, cool offerings that they have there. And one of the new offerings that they have is something that we talked about last week, but we didn't really show off, which is the new pass holder magnet with Ray. And I think, Desi, you talked about, well, I really hope they don't draw it like the new Mickey. And I was like, they're going to. So there's the new pass holder magnet, and he's
so
up looking up at Evangeline,
Is
and
he?
it's just it's a sweet moment. So if you're going to the Festival of the Arts, don't forget to pick up your pass holder magnet. Please make sure you bring a government issued ID, your annual pass, your blood type, your firstborn, everything that you need to get your very, very limited edition magnet. But one of the things that I don't think we really usually talk about with the Festival of the Arts, which is the thing that the Festival of the Arts has that no one else has, which is kind of cool, is all the art booths that they have. So if you go to wdwnt.com, you can check out all the art installations that they have here. And it's a great way around the promenade to go and see some of your favorite artists. My actual favorite artist is that's a little bit soon to talk about that. But my favorite artist is Dave Perillo, and he's going to be there. So I'm looking forward to trying to meet Dave and maybe have him sign a piece of art or something. But I don't know, Patrick. You and I have a lot of the same manias when it comes to Disney merch, like popcorn buckets and pops and the like. Oh, and my question was going to be do you actually collect any of the Disney art?
Yeah, I bought a print at I think it was one of the tail end of the Festival of the Arts the last time I was there, and I bought another one this time I was there. Festival of the Arts is hands down the best festival. It is so enjoyable. Go to Festival of the Arts. It's so much fun. Honestly, I've been thinking about this a lot. I feel like it's the closest we get to what EPCOT was kind of supposed to be. I really enjoy it, and it has a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, bring your wallet because art can get pricey, and artists deserve that money.
Yeah. Rob, you must have like a vault.
You know what? It's interesting is that I've only spent about 2 hours at Festival of the Arts. I had a meeting in Orlando, and I had a couple hours to kill before I had to jump on a flight, and I went to Festival of the Arts. So this is going to be the first time in 2 weeks that I'm going to go and be able to spend some time. And I'm really hoping to find some new art. Actually, I want to redo my office, so I'm excited. I'll bring some cash and hopefully find some good finds.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, well, and again, the Festival of the Arts goes on through the end of February. February 24th, I believe, is the last date. So if you have not been, please make sure to swing by. Here's the problem with the Garden Rocks is that originally when I looked at this, I thought we were going to be talking about the bands, but we're not talking about the bands with this. We're talking about the dining packages that they released here. So Disney has released dining packages for the Garden Rocks, which is the music festival or the music part of what comes to the Flower and Garden Festival. So I guess it's Eat to the Beat when we do food and wine. During the Festival of the Holidays, it's the narrators, and during the Festival of the Arts,
I got you though.
It's Broadway.
You ready?
Yeah, you got me.
It's going to be
talk to me.
the Rembrandts. Oh no, Festival.
No,
Sugar Ray.
It's Boston, Chicago. It's like Gen X music for Garden Rocks. I'm pretty sure.
Sugar Ray.
I was disappointed.
No,
I was disappointed there wasn't enough millennial or exennial music for me for Garden Rocks.
Do we not get Boys to Men?
That's not until all of the good '90s music comes for Eat to the Beat. Garden Rocks is for
maybe some Foghat, some Foreigner.
Hold on, I gotta look this up now because I did look it up because I thought that Rob just put the wrong link in.
So here's the list of who we've got is Tommy DiCarlo from Boston. So not Boston, the whole band. Air Supply, Blue October, Rick Springfield, which is, I feel like they still bring him around every now and then to sing Jesse's Girl. Herman's Hermits seems like such a reach. I think they need to retire Herman's Hermits. No offense to any Peter Noon fans out there. And then 38 Special. That's actually and then Jason Sheff of Chicago, which is like, of all the singers of Chicago, really? Okay. No, that's the one we're talking about. But I guess let me refocus back to the idea of these dining packages. And Rob, I think you're a big fan of those. I feel like it's one of those things where if I go and I get the dining package for the Broadway series or for the Garden Rock series, I a lot of times feel like an idiot because I'm going to be like, I got the dining package, I have my guaranteed seat, I get there and there's like no one else there, but I was the sucker that bought that. Although I've been the other way, like Boys to Men, I know I got to be the one to buy the package. You still do those?
I do actually, because honestly, when you look at it, it's, you're going to eat anyway. And it's not that much of a huge delta between the price of your meal with or without the ticket. So I typically do it. It just makes me feel, at ease that I know that I have a spot. And I've been both, right? I've been to one where I wouldn't have got in, especially when it comes to candlelight processional, where I wouldn't have got in without the ticket. But I've also got the time where I could have gotten in and sat anywhere I wanted to without the ticket. But anyway, it just puts my mind at ease to know that I guaranteed. And when I go to those, typically, you identify the artist you want. You make plans. It would really be bad if you didn't get the ticket because you've been counting on it. So I do it every time. It's just not that much of a price delta, and you're going to eat anyway.
I love that you're throwing around the word price delta. You're so fancy. But I agree with you about the Festival of Holidays and the Candlelight Processional. And Desi, I know that you just recently secured a ticket to the festival to see your boy Brendan Fraser.
That's right.
So do you feel like it's worth it to do in general or just for the Candlelight?
It would depend on who was coming. I wouldn't for any of these for Garden Rocks personally. I do enjoy some of these artists, but it's not like Boys to Men or 98 Degrees where it's like, yes, I need to go and I need that dining package so that I can sit front row because I want one of the guys from Boys to Men to hand me a rose. Like that's worth it to me. Being able to be up close and personal to see Brendan Fraser do the Candlelight Processional, that was worth it to me. I guess it just depends on who you're interested in, whether or not it would be worth it for you.
Wait a minute. You don't want the former lead singer of Chicago to hand you a rose? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know if they do that. I think that's just a Boys to Men thing.
Gotcha. I'm looking at these prices for these things, and for those of you again that don't know, when you buy these dining packages, you're buying a prefix meal. They explain it to you when you sit down that it's going to be okay. You get a beverage and a dessert and an appetizer and a main course. And I'm looking at like La Hacienda de San Angel is $82. That's surprising to me because we're not even talking about like the St. Angel Inn. We're talking about the Hacienda outside. But like you can get the Garden Grill breakfast for $66. And that looks like one of the cheaper ones. Or Nine Dragons for $59. Spice Road is $56. Tepanetto is $80. Patrick, before we move on, any thoughts on this?
I can't hear you.
That's because I was munching on some chocolate covered raisins. I'd rather take a chance if I'm going to see somebody and have my menu options open. That being said, I saw the lines for NPH for Candlelight Processional, and yeah, if you want to see that person, you got to do it. These are just some of the costs of being a Disney fan at times. It sucks. We're getting nickeled and dimed.
Well, and it goes back to something that we're going to talk about in a minute about paying to play, right? Like, paying so you don't have to wait in line. They seem to find new and interesting ways to do that. I was looking, and Dawn said in the chat something about Rick Springfield was really good last time we saw him there. I like Rick Springfield. And by the way, huge Star Wars action figure fan. Just saying. I don't know if that gets him points, I feel like. Can we get points for him, Patrick?
Yep, points for Rick Springfield.
Okay. Sweet. Anyway,
Two.
moving on to the MDX, our favorite app in the entire world. It does not run your battery down. It does not crash all the time. It is the most dependable app that you will ever have on your phone. Actually, I like what's happening here. There's a new update to it that they've added different navigation features. And when it says navigation features, one of the things that always drives me crazy is when I open it up and I hit on location, no matter if I'm not at Disney World and I hit location, it's constantly and immediately going to take me to Magic Kingdom. That's how that would work. Now it's got and for me to then find something at Epcot, I would have to pinch out, find on the map.
Oh my
Epcot,
God, so obnoxious.
Pinch in. So you've done this. It's not just me. Great. I'm glad that
Yeah.
it's not. See, this is why we have this weekly meeting, is so we know it's not just us having these silly problems. So pinch in on Epcot, maybe refresh or whatever. But now it has this great feature when you go into it where you can choose the location that you want to get, whether it's Disney Springs, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and then it'll switch. And then there also, instead of going to a different page for the when you want to see it in like sorted form or in a list form, it just pops up when you go to list, and it actually gives you the times in descending order from what's not in alphabetical order, and I'm sure you could probably do that, but what's the shortest line to longest line. So Rob, I feel like you're leaning more the tech guy here. What do you think about these upgrades? Because I'm excited. This is a thing with the app that I'm actually happy with, as long as it doesn't cause it to crash or run my battery down further.
You know what? I'm excited that they're actually continuing to improve it, right? Oftentimes you'll see companies who put a lot of money into an app, but you don't get updates, right? You don't get any meaningful changes, or they just do things and it gets worse. So the fact that the Disney's actually allocated resources, programming resources, to improve this, it's pretty exciting to see. And it sounds like perhaps maybe they even got some feedback from users, because I don't think this would be something you would just discover on your own. So really excited, and I look forward to using it in a couple weeks.
Yeah, isn't that usually the problem, is that the people who are designing the app aren't usually the people who are using the app? It's a universal problem. Sometimes it's nice to ask the people and the end user, what is it we could do to make this better for you? But even though I knew this was a problem, Patrick, I don't know that I would have said to Disney, this is how you fix it, but I think they did a pretty good job with it.
I like anytime there's improvements on the app. The app is difficult to use at times. I actually had to have a cast member show me the best way for character meet and greets, because I could not find Asha right around this time last year, actually. And it's not really great with its interface in terms of being user friendly. I like that they're improving it.
Yep. Dizzy, any thoughts on this one before we move on?
One thing that I appreciate is that you can see height requirements. You can filter by height requirement. So, as somebody with little kids, I know that if I'm scrolling through, it is really convenient to be able to see, oh, they're 40 inches tall now. Now we can do this. I think maybe for somebody who doesn't go that often and doesn't know what height requirements are required for their child, it's good to see as well.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about this app is that everything is in there that you need. The problem with it is that you trying to find it. I actually don't like one thing they've changed recently that I don't like is where like you used to be able to access your future plans pretty easily from the home screen. Now you've got to go into the hamburger menu, go down into the text lists at the bottom. It's not even a button anymore, and then click on future plans to be able to figure out what things you have coming up next. Not the biggest of deals, but again, just that's the only bad thing. I think in general, I like the way they're moving with the app, and this in particular, not only to find attractions, wait times, and to switch from park to park, but also to be able to find mobile order, what's available, where can I find mobile order near me, things like that. It looks like that they are putting some thought into it. So again, kudos to Disney for that one. On the other hand, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. We talked about this a lot. This is one of those things where it, does it hurt anybody? Probably not. It does cut into the standby line a little bit more. And for those of you who don't know, this is something they released at the end of Q4 last year. Or beginning of Q4 last year, which is the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. So we have Lightning Lane Single Pass for attractions like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you pay per ride, and then you have Lightning Lane Multi Pass, which gets you into 3 at a time and attractions, and you get in once. This one, the Premier Pass, is you go and you walk up and you tap into each attraction once during the course of the day, and the cost can be up to $400 for one person for Magic Kingdom for one day. Where they've started this out as only available to deluxe hotels. Made sense. Then they were like, it's only available to Disney hotels. Now it's available to anyone who wants to go. So if it feels weird if you're the kind of person they're trying to save money. Maybe you're staying off grounds, and then you come in and maybe you bring your own food, so you don't have to do that. But you're gonna pay $400. Like I mean, again, I don't know. Rob, again, you're the guy with all the money. I don't know. Like, is this weird? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm wondering, is it the fact that they've opened it up? Does this mean that they're not getting enough demand for it, or that they're just ready to open it up?
No, I think it could be either one. But I do remember when they launched it, they very clearly called this out as a pilot, and they were piloting it with a very closed group of people. So, it very well could just be, they run it at a scale that is a smaller scale. It's successful. They open it up. They're looking and seeing if it causes any disruptions, to wait times. And then now they're opening up to the broader audience. Of course, they'd love to sell this out every single day. And the larger the addressable market is, the higher the probability that would be, I'm sure. But I think it was probably more just of a kind of user experience test with a limited audience. They got bigger, and then now it's open to everyone. And I also don't understand why people are so upset about it. I know that maybe they feel like Disney is continuing to target a higher an audience. I'm sure they'd love to have the more affluent customers as well. But in reality, the customers who are buying this Premier Pass would have also been buying the individual passes, right? So I don't think it's really causing any more disruption. They're just paying more money to make it simpler and not having to schedule. But I don't think it's really probably disrupting anyone's actual wait time.
Gotcha. As the second richest on the panel, Patrick.
Come on now, that's ridiculous. I think that this makes a VIP tour a much better value. If you can get a few people with you and book a VIP tour, it can end up being cheaper. I see what Rob's saying. I really do. It's not affecting wait times. I think it's the principle. I think it's the feeling that this all used to be free. and all just mattered on your foot speed and where you wanted to go. And then it was a great way to plan your vacation. I think it's just the beat down of the Disney fan that we feel. I don't think we're holding it against anybody who can afford this pass.
David in chat just said Patrick has all that Funko Pop money, so that's good.
I'm not liquid, I'm plastic.
Desi, any final thoughts before we move on?
Hard, shiny plastic. You're a mean girl, Patrick. I agree that I think that a VIP tour, if you have that money, is a lot more worth the price than the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. So it could be some sort of combo between, they were doing it in small increments to see how it worked out, and a combo of demand versus how many they expected to sell versus how many were actually selling.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it seems ridiculous, and at the same time, you're right, Rob. It's like, I mean, if you have the money, you do it, and if you don't, then you're me. So it's just you do what you got to do. But again, it's an interesting thing that people, like, we know during the holidays it was selling out. So, it'll be interesting to see how this rolls out. I think back to those cabanas that they put in the Magic Kingdom, and I think I brought this up at the time, is that it was like they put those cabanas there, and it was like $1,200 or something for the day to just have like a tent behind Space Mountain with waters. And it's like, talk about elite. It's like, I'm sorry, nobody can pass through this area. And that didn't work, and they got rid of them because, it could have been a pilot program, but it didn't work out. Now I look back at it and go, hey, that would have been kind of cool if I could have glommed onto somebody else's trip and we could have set up something, and it'd probably be great for people with young kids that don't want to go all the way back to the hotel. But
they're called DVC lounges, Rob.
They are, and we'll talk about those too. Let's move on to the Mermaid show. There's a new Mermaid show coming, and I think that Patrick and Desi have talked about the fact that their kids probably haven't seen the Mermaid show because the Mermaid show that used to be there has been gone for quite a while. So Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Their whole lives. How tragic.
Wait, hold on, really?
Yeah.
What year was Cece born?
2019.
19. Yeah. Her whole life? Oh, that's so sad.
I know, right? So they've removed the signage from here, and this has been closed. Again, look at all this real estate that we've just kept closed for so long. And so they've removed the signage officially. The billboard is still there, the painted billboard that on the side of the building. That looks like this here, but they've removed the statue and the background that they had literally just fixed and put back up. So I guess they're getting ready for this to happen. We did see a behind the scenes look at some of the new puppets, which look fantastic and probably are 50% less moldy than the last ones are because of all the water that was there. But I do think it's interesting that they're doing Kiss the Girl as the big number on this one with these with the puppets, it doesn't say that they're not doing Under the Sea, but Under the Sea was the big one last time. So Desi, you look at this show, are you excited at all? And again, I know your kids are still going to be a little bit upset that it's not Lightning McQueen, but will they care that this is back?
They have been asking every time we walk by. They're like, "Oh, we want to go see the Mermaid thing." I'm like, "You've never seen the Mermaid thing. Why is this something that you think is going to happen? Because it's been closed your whole life." I'm excited for it. I think that these puppets look amazing. I was not under the impression that it was a replacement or was going to be the big song. I thought that we were going to get Under the Sea and Kiss the Girl was going to be an addition. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I thought it was just going to be a longer show.
That's not going to happen. That's that costs money. And plus they're spending all this money to make it better. Honestly, Patrick, do you like it when they do deeper cuts, or do you still always want to hear Let It Go, When You Wish Upon a Star, and Kiss and Under the Sea and Be Our Guest?
I mean, what I want and the 5-year-old wants are very different things. she wants them to play the hits. She's like, just get out there and do what you're supposed to do. I just don't know why we need another mermaid attraction. Like, there's so many things we could do in that. It could be Muppets, for God's sakes. Like, why? There's so much mermaid everywhere. We don't need more mermaid. She's one of the
Wow.
worst princesses, too. She's just the
Holy-
How
worst.
dare you?
Holy moly!
she's
Oh,
petulant.
Rob, defense.
I mean, I was just blown away that he could possibly say that. You're going to have a bunch of 5-year-olds, toilet papering and egging your house on that one. You know, I think that's good. I mean, it just because there's not a whole lot of really kids stuff there. So adding more small children. I'm actually going to be at the parks with a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old my next trip. And just adding some more small children type shows or things that'll take time, or definitely when they get overheated in the middle of the day, go to an air conditioned space to kind of relax and maybe even get a small amount of nap time in there. I think that's anyone who has small children probably would love something like that.
That is so sad that that's your reasoning for having this show, is looking for air conditioning and nap time. I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I remember when my kids were little and my wife would go in and watch the Walt Disney Presents movie from the back row because no one else was going to be in there, and take the kid for a nap because it was dark and she'd have something to do and be in air conditioning. So I'm not surprised by it, but also, then what are we doing? Like, we should have something better in this space. I don't know. Why don't we make this whole area, I'm just off the riffing, Monstropolis instead of doing that to the Muppets? I don't know. That seems like it would have made more sense, but
Kids like monsters.
Kids like the mermaid too. I'm just saying, I cannot believe that you said that Ariel was not one of the good
worst.
good princesses.
The
Why is
worst,
she the
but
worst?
Daddy, I love him. Get out of here.
She's
Why is
my
she the
second
worst?
favorite princess.
She just starts a whole thing. She gives up her legs. She gets her father's powers taken away. You want a redheaded princess? Go get you some Merida. There you go. There's a princess you can set your watch to.
Talking about a spoiled princess, Merida's pretty spoiled. She gets her mom turned into a bear.
And everyone
And
learns
her
a
brothers.
lesson. And they're really
Everyone
cute.
learns a lesson in Little Mermaid too.
Do they?
Everyone,
Do they?
everyone learns a lesson except for her brothers. They learn nothing. I feel like.
Yeah, we're cute. We can get away with it.
Yeah. All right. So now that Patrick has become the villain, let's talk about the villain show. Again, that this is taking the place of the beloved Desi's Family Lightning McQueen Racing Academy, but it also is not the Muppets. It's a villain show, which I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, like you said, Patrick, they're going to be building a villain's land. This probably just seems like it's some sort of a test area for villains at this point to see which ones they're going to roll out. We've gotten some concept art from this last week, and then this week we got a behind-the-scenes look at them creating these villains. So my understanding of this one, the way it works, is that there's going to be a magic mirror. We'll have the villains come from the screen out into the audience and be part of this show. I don't know, Patrick. Again, little kid. You have a little kid. Will she be excited about villains, or does she just?
I don't know. It's hit or miss. It's really hit or miss. She loves villains sometimes, but sometimes she acts afraid of them. Odd. It's the 13 villains who are going to be the focus of the Land Beyond Big Thunder. So that's
Crazy.
curious.
Yeah.
I know. Interesting. Yeah, she might be down. We're figuring out what level of scary is the right one for her. She picks stuff on her own, and we let her roll with it. And she tells us she has nightmares about zombies and werewolves and aliens, and we stop watching Zombies 3.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just reading the chat, watching them come at you about the mermaid.
Come for me. I don't care. She's awful.
Desi, excitement about this show at all?
Yes, I would say I'm excited about it. I think the best plan is what Patrick said earlier. Build this out now, see how people like it. Once Villain Land is ready, put it over there. Move the Muppets into this space. put Monsters Inc. laugh floor into that space, open up something new for Tomorrowland. I think that is the best plan. I don't know if they would do it because that involves too much moving and construction, and that would probably take like 18 years to accomplish. But I am excited for it. I didn't realize until like this week that there was going to be live actors. I thought it was going to be mostly a screen show with maybe a couple animatronics. So I am kind of excited to see how everything integrates together once this show comes out.
You thought there were going to be animatronics?
I don't know. It looked like the concept art looked like not real humans.
Here's me pointing to the fences and making a call. Is I think that the magic mirror will kind of give like the Jedi Training Academy. That like the doors will open, the magic mirror will open, and there will be smoke, and a villain will appear out of it, or maybe more like Enchanted Tales with Belle, where the mirror opens a little bit more magically and something happens there. So we'll see how that goes. Rob, any thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, I think Desi and Patrick were both right. I think this is a great opportunity for them to kind of find out what level of scary is the right scary. The last thing they want to do is develop a whole land and not get the concept right. So this opportunity for a year or more to be able to test characters, so they know which ones they want to highlight, what the level of engagement will look like, how the each age range will the characters will resonate with, so that they can get it right. So I think it's a super positive thing. I do think it will be a temporary piece once Beyond Big Thunder opens. I think that it'll probably go away, and hopefully we'll see Muppets move over.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I hope that's the case. Maybe that is the plan, and if that's the plan, that's a genius plan. Let's test it, use it to test that, use the animatronic over at the new, Lightning McQueen attraction in Frontierland, and then move this or get rid of this and move Muppets in, and then everybody's happy. But again, to Patrick's point from the beginning of the show, you're really just replacing things at that point, though. There's nothing new. The only thing new that I feel like is on the docket here, brand new, coming down the pike, will be the addition of the Monsters Inc. roller coaster. Everything else feels like we're taking something, the Rivers of America with Tom Sawyer's Island and the riverboat, and replacing that with the Cars attractions. Oh, and the stuff beyond Big Thunder. True. That should be also expansion. So a little bit of expansion coming our way. Let's move over to Universal and talk about the fact that they have just opened up a brand new hotel to go next to the park that doesn't open for the next 5 months. So there's this epic new hotel, the Stella Nova, that is opened up, one of two that's going to be over there. One of these are going to be two sister hotels, and then, of course, there's going to be the main hotel in the middle of Epic Universe. We had people go and take a look, and we have stuff on the website showing the maps and the parking and the outside of the building and what the rooms look like. And then you can also see there's the restaurant and the Nova bar that are in there. But I love this. I love the fact that I could go to Universal, and if I can get into this hotel, I don't know if there's a guard gate keeping me out, I can go and snap up some Epic Universe merch. But of course, I think this is probably going to be available at City Walk as well. Patrick, have you looked at this hotel? Is this something that, do you ever stay at Universal? Probably
I
not.
have. When my wife has business meetings, I tag along, and that's when I'll stay at Universal. It looks great. It looks really nice. The rooms are incredibly weirdly white, but I guess that's kind of like the vibe that a lot of these hotels are going for. Price point seems really good, especially with its closeness to Epic Universe. I'm interested to see what's going to come of Universal's transportation system, because it's definitely not like Disney's, and they have a lot more space to cover now. So I'm curious as to what's going to happen there.
Well, maybe they'll build their own Skyliner. Rob?
Connect the two Skyliners.
Yeah, I thought the hotel looked great. I mean, it's kind of in between a modern and an economy resort. I think that the decor looks great. It's some cool theming. I saw 10 YouTubers review the rooms. They're basic, but for the price point in which they're charging, I think it's probably going to be some pretty good value. I may go in and try one out. It looks pretty cool, and the Nova bar looked pretty cool too. So, I look forward to giving it a shot.
Okay. Let's change gears here for a second, and we'll talk about Disney hotels. So Disney's also working on some stuff, including Patrick's future. I'm assuming Patrick's going to double down on his DVC membership and get some DVC at the Lakeshore Lodge. Is that correct? Is that what you're going to do, Patrick? Because that sucker is going vertical at this point, so you can move in probably pretty soon. Mute.
Sorry, struggling today. It's a really great location, and they're building it so fast. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm a big fan of this area. I am not buying more DVC points, but if I was, that would be where I would purchase them. You're going to get a lot of value over there. It's probably add a few more boats. Watercraft is the best form of transportation at Walt Disney World. I'm interested to see how much of the concept from the original concept art we see. But let's go. Let's do it. They're really great at building hotels. Maybe some attractions to put the people on that go to the hotels now.
No. We don't want to do
No?
that. We
right.
We don't need new attractions. We just want to build more rooms, create more demand inside the park, offer more paid opportunities to stand in line. It's going to be great. You'll love it. It's going to be awesome. Rob, I know that you're sometimes more of a Disneyland guy. There's some adjustments happening at Disneyland, including there are Coco and Incredible suites coming out to the Pixar Place Hotel this summer, which seems weird because it seems like the Pixar Place Hotel was under construction for 90 years when they took it from Paradise Pier to the Pixar Place Hotel. And so the fact that they didn't have this open is crazy, but more crazy to me is that they're already closing the pool for refurbishment. They literally just opened this hotel. What's going on?
You know what? I'm super excited about the changes. The hotels at Disneyland have needed some love for some time. I know that the Pixar went over some great renovations, but they really need to invest in the hotels of the parks in general. Not sure about the pool. I mean, it's a pretty cool pool for kids, but it's good to see them invest. Now, if they could just finish their renovations of the DVC at the Grand Californian, which is desperately needed, I'll be super excited. But I do want to go back to the Lakeshore Lodge. I don't know if you remember, but when they announced it previously, when it was Reflections, it was a 900 room resort. I mean, it is gigantic. And think about the Riviera. I think it's about 300 rooms. So it's going to be potentially 3 times the size of Riviera. And I know people complain about Disney adding new resorts, but if you think about it, the more rooms available, typically increased supply will drive down the price. So I'm all for Disney increasing the number of available rooms to hopefully drive down pricing there.
Huh. Interesting. Well, I would love it if that happened. I don't know if they're building as big a building as the Reflections was going to be, but we'll see how that works out. I do know that they made some modifications for it, but we're up to like a 3rd story there. It would be really weird to me if this was a bigger resort than Riviera, but they certainly have the land to do it, building it on the bones of River Country, Disney's version of an old-fashioned swimming hole. But yeah, I will be interested in seeing how that works out. I just still wish that they would do like another park or something when they're building this many hotels. But do you notice it takes 5 years or so to build Tron, but we can build this hotel in like almost no time at all because it's a DVC. So same as the Island Tower probably. And you kind of mentioned with Pixar, there's also the Grand Californian is going to be making some changes to their rooms, which I honestly I kind of love. Yeah, I kind of love this look. It feels very homey, honestly, which is kind of what DVC is supposed to be about, as opposed to, Patrick, as you were talking about, this new stark look that a lot of these hotel rooms have. It looks pretty nice. Let's address. We have a super chat that we just got here that I want to call attention to. Everybody, get in your super chat stance. This is from Beverly 0220. It says, "Hey Rob, we aren't going to discuss the new bride. Where's the Disneyland love? The OG. Definitely have love for Disneyland. Thank you for the super chat. We actually talked about the new bride last week on ParksCenter, so you can check that episode out. We talked about the new bride and also the upcoming changes to the hitchhiking ghosts that have been talked about. So don't forget to go back and watch some of our old ParksCenter episodes, and it's in there. But we appreciate the super chat, and we appreciate you being with us tonight. So let's move on to this one, because I know Patrick loves a good tiara. I feel like. Is that not
wrong.
true, Patrick? Yeah.
No, I love
you ain't
tiara.
you ain't wrong. So there was this thing that went down where they have a new opportunity, and we're calling it a new experience. But it's basically a make your own tiara situation. I'm looking for the link here for it, but it's not necessarily as expensive as I thought, but it still seems kind of crazy. Here it is. So it's Hidden Mickey Tiaras and Scepters experience. And again, they're calling it an experience, but basically what you do is you build it like you would a lightsaber, I guess. But you get to go to the crystal shop and build your tiara and scepter, and you use your birthstone, and you pick out the ones you want, and you make this cool tiara. And I think the cost on it's $59 for the tiara. It says that the bottom half of the display allows for the hanging birthstone charm, which is $29, and the tiara placed by this lower half is $49. I don't know. Is this something that anybody here would do? Patrick, is your daughter going to go make this happen at some point?
Yeah,
yes,
no.
she already knows about it. She reads
does
the blog.
not. She does not. She is aware of her time away from the parks is going to be pretty great, although she did try to push it up to January of 2026 instead of September because she loves Festival of the Arts. Yeah, this is something we're going to have to do. Using the term is incredibly, incredibly loose. It is shopping. That is what this is. It is just shopping. There is nothing else to it. This is not an experience except for an experience of me giving you more money for something she is and cry, and then we're gonna have to go and get replaced.
Okay. Yeah. You know who looks like they need a tiara?
Yeah.
Yeah. To hold my hair down so it doesn't fly away.
Obviously.
Is it something that needs? Is it something that needs a reservation, or can you just like a lightsaber, or you just go in and do it?
I think you just go in and do it. I think it's like the plastic lightsabers at Tatooine Traders, not the lightsaber experience that you get in Batuu.
Well, I will be there with my granddaughter in 2 weeks, and I will definitely be doing this.
Oh, okay.
I'll report back.
Yay.
Well, I was going to say, please report back, because you probably will be the only one that has one. So maybe you get it for your granddaughter, and you let her hold it for like a minute, and then you take it and you bring it on the show. That probably is going to make a lot more sense, I think.
For sure.
Let's go to our final topic of the night. Is Downtown Disney has been under construction for longer than any airport I've ever been to. It's constantly, and we're talking about Downtown Disney in California. It's constantly, and I've joked about this, in a state of becoming. And honestly, I like the ideas that they're moving towards, like this Porthos coming. That's going to be exciting, and the fact that they've got these new really cool theme shops like the Wonderful World of Sweets, which has just opened. Looks very cool here. I like anything that is a Disney theme shop here. When you put something else in Downtown Disney, it seems like, unless it's like the Lego store, it seems like I wish it was a Disney store. So the sweet shop is there, and then the Storyland Boutique also has opened at Downtown Disney. So again, a lot of changes are coming and happening. Rob, I know that you probably again frequent some of these stores more often. Are you excited about the changes you're seeing?
I mean, those sites, those stores aren't stores that really are interesting to me, but it is just exciting to see that they continue to reinvent Downtown Disney. I know Disneyland Forward has some thoughts on increasing retail, hopefully even beyond that. Those of you who haven't spent much time in Downtown Disney, it's really small. I mean, it's a small space. So anytime they add some more space, it's not another Starbucks. It's good.
Gotcha. Okay. And we actually have another super chat here from from Trauma Factor. So again, hold on to your hats. Desi, are you ready?
Oh.
This is important that you celebrate this one properly. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So the Trauma Factor says, "Hey Desi," and "Oh hey Rob,"
Which
is
Rob
always
is he talking to?
I'm hoping me. I feel like it's me, and that the other two are being ostracized, as is my hope. So appreciate you, Trauma Factor. Thank you for the super chat and for saying hi. We appreciate it. Honestly, Rob, the food opportunities at Downtown Disney are what excite me more. So yeah, these shops are one thing, but like the food hall that's coming, the Asian restaurant that opened that I probably will never be able to get into because it seems like getting into it is like the hardest thing in the world. I will miss Tortilla Joe's. That was like the only thing I went to on a regular basis, and it was a nice like fallback. Hey, you can't get into the 5 sit-down restaurants that Disneyland provides you, so you can actually get into Tortilla Joe's, or I guess now at this point I'll just go and go to Splitsville and hope to run into Patrick Hackett. Patrick, anything on this before we move on?
I like that they brought some Tokyo merch over. I thought that was really cool that there was stuff from Disney Store Japan in there. Also, it's a really cute store. Both of them, they're very cute. I like that we're getting a little more creativity.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being on the show here tonight. You guys are awesome, and thank you guys at home for watching. And it is football night, so congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, the Cinderella season for the Commanders has come to an end, and so your Super Bowl is going to be what most people thought it was going to be. It's going to be the Eagles v. the Chiefs in a battle that I think Patrick hopes ends in structural damage. Yeah, okay. I figured that
Yay,
was...
sports.
Yay, sport. Speaking of which, that means that next week will be our last ParksCenter for a couple weeks. So please make sure to join us next Sunday night at 9 p.m. for another ParksCenter. And then we're going to take off for the Super Bowl. Again, we don't want to keep people from watching the Super Bowl because we know we'll be a contender in that fight.
That's so thoughtful of you, Rob.
I know. I'm just being respectful for the Super Bowl. I want them to have a little bit of people show up for that game, so that's why we're doing that.
We got a super chat. It said $5 from Trauma Factor, and it said Patrick. So thank you.
Well, you know what? If it is a super chat, we need to do the super chat shuffle, and so hang on. Here we go. Yeah, and so that is true. It says Patrick. The Trauma Factor says Patrick. So there you go. And you know what? If you think about it, the Trauma Factor covered both Robs when he said Rob. So we're
so
good.
I was the only one left out.
Yeah, we're covered. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. We have a lot of fun. We hope you guys too. Please tell a friend if you haven't already. Bring the kids next time. We'll make balloon animals. It'll be a lot of fun. One last thing I wanted to give a shout out to is that we do another show on Wednesday night. It's called Deep in the Plus every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. And we did Swiss Family Robinson a few weeks ago. Last week we did Saving Mr. Banks with Shannon, which was a lot of fun. This coming Wednesday night is going to be the Star Wars crew with Desi and Nick and Ron and myself talking about the Skeleton Crew. And then February 5th is going to be The Mighty Ducks. And then February 12th is Beauty and the Beast, the 1991 animated feature. So hopefully you join us for that. You can find all of our reviews on deepintheplus.com or come to WDWNT TV for last week's ParksCenter. We hope you enjoy the shows. We like giving them to you. And we hope to see you, if not for Deep in the Plus, next Sunday night for another ParksCenter. Thank you guys for being here. Also, big shout out to our wigs. We love our wigs, the WWNT Interglobe Society. If you are a member, we do have a quick post show after this. So thank you for being wigs members, and thank you guys for watching. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time. Oh, quality. Well, let's I'm gonna cut over to the post show here, and Rob.
I only